Okay, welcome back. I have been slowly working my way through the Rust-like tutorial, or Roguelike tutorial in Rust, sorry. I am most of the way through this second section here. Let me see where that is. Yep. We finished section 1, Hello Rust, and we're nearly done with section 2. I skipped this Rex Paint menu because it's not, maybe we'll come back to it at some point, but it's not as, I glanced at it yesterday and it looks like it was just how to load resources, right? Hi, VM user, welcome back. I don't really know if this is going to teach us, and it might be teaching us a little bit about how to load resources, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. So what I did was I skipped ahead to simple traps, and we got most of the way through the traps, right? So yesterday we were able to place traps, trigger them, and have the user take damage, the player take damage. And then I dumped out the trap locations here so we could find them, because you can't find them when they're hidden. You can't just go looking for them very easily when they're all hidden like that. So good, glad to hear all is okay. I am going to then go to the section, where is it? Yeah, bear traps only snap once. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I think our working tree is clear. Yep. So what we're going to do is take a look at this single activation component. So we're going to add create a single activation. We're going to add that to the bear trap, and then we're going to modify the trigger system to handle it. So we're going to have to look at what the differences are between my existing code and the code that's they're changing here, because it looks like they're changing quite a bit. So first things first, source main, we're going to add the new component called single activation. And I don't have control P working, right? Oh, okay. So let's do that first. I think it's just brew install FZF. Oh, oh yeah. I got to run it as the other user. Okay, I'll have to do that. There's 2 users on this machine, and then the other user is the admin. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this right now. So let's just carry on. nvim source lib components, and we're going to add a new component called single activation, right? And then I'm going to modify the bear trap and spawner there, and inflicts damage, and with single activation, like that. Okay. What's next? Oh, right. So we're going to have to modify our trigger system. Source lib trigger. And what's changed here? So we have a map, entity move, position, entry trigger, hidden name. Entities got moved to a different spot. Okay, we can live with that. Game log. Inflicts damage, particle builder. Yep. Suffered damage. Okay, so all we're doing is adding this extra single activation from read storage. So let's copy, paste, and change this to single activation. And then we got to add it here. And we're going to call it single activation. So now the question is, where does it get used? And what changed here? So this is going to be a little difficult to find, maybe. So we got remove entities. Oh, and iterate entities that moved in their final position. So it looks like we have a new vector here where we're capturing all the entities to remove. So let's add that. Let me remove entities, vec entity, vec new. Okay. And then This looks like it stays the same. This looks like it stays the same. Tile content IDX. We're doing this thing here with the triggers. Yeah, when we refactored this, so the things are slightly different. So it's making it a little more difficult to see. Okay, so then we have a suffered damage here. So the suffered damage looks like it got split out. Particle builder suffered damage. Okay. Yeah, so this is okay. Up here now, right? So we do the thing triggers. We do the inflicts damage, which is this line here. And it looks like now we're just going to add this. Right? And we don't even need it. We don't need the SA. We just need to say if it is some. So if single activation, yep, get entity ID is some, then we can just say remove entities push entity ID. And then at the end, before we do all the clear, we're going to delete those entities. For trap in remove entities iter entities delete trap expect unable to delete trap. So this is interesting, right? Because we're actually deleting the trap. So how is the trap going to still show up if it's no longer an entity? Right? We're deleting the entity right here. So it's not going to show anymore. Well, if your cargo run now, you can be hit by a bear trap, take some damage, and the trap, and the trap goes away. I would have thought you'd still want us to be able to see the trap having been there. Otherwise, what's the point of having, maybe you can see like untriggered traps. Right? All right. Well, let's, what it should do is cargo check, and it failed. Okay. Oh, single activation. I'm going to change this to a star. I'm done with that. And this is single activation 2. This has create star in it already. Oh, I mistyped it. Single activation. Okay, 394. Activation. There we go. Oh, thank you. I apologize. Okay, so, wow, that's bad. Can you tell I'm a new streamer? So what I did was I added the single activation. Let me do that. Let me just look at the components here. So I added this single activation section here, right? I added it to source main. Single activation right there. I did not add it to the save load system. So let me do that now. Nope. Single activation, comma, and put it here, right? And then I modified the bear trap. Right here, I added the single activation to it. Right? And then we looked at this code here, the spawner, not the spawner code, the trigger system. And what I did was I added these lines here, right, to say if, basically this, remove entities, and then this for loop here to delete the entities after they've been triggered. All right. Thanks for letting me know. I would have been streaming the entire thing with the wrong screen. All right. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do a cargo check, didn't I? All right, so single activation, like that. What's the next error? Remove entities. Did I spell it wrong? I did spell it wrong. Remove entities. Is that it? Yes, okay. No errors, no warnings. So we can build that. And let's see if we can test it out. This might be a little difficult to test out. We do have the traps list here. Let's see, there's one at 9.4, which is going to be up this way. Oh, I need a scroll of magic mapping to help me out here. 9.4 is going to be up this way, yeah. So somewhere in this, oh, I just got hit. Okay, so bear trap triggers. I did see very briefly the double exclamation mark, and now there's a little bit of blood where the trap used to be. All right, so that's working. It's removing the trap after the trap triggers, and I took 6 points of damage. Very good view, thanks. Okay, so that's good. Let's see if Clippy's happy, and then we'll figure out what the next thing is. Right? Pum pum pum. All right, so we added the component. We added it to save load system. We modified this line here because this is getting way too long. We added the single activation to the trap. And then we added a way of removing the entity once the trap is triggered. And that's it. Okay, so let's check this in. Right, git commit -m bear traps trigger only once. All right, let's just peek over here. Oh, I didn't push it. Yeah, I hit reload and I didn't push. That was smart. So let me reload now. Hello. There it is. Okay. So now, spotting traps. We have a pretty functional trap system now, but it's annoying to randomly take damage for no apparent reason because you had no way to know the trap was there. So it's also quite unfair since there's no way to guard against it. We'll implement a chance to spot traps. At some point in the future, this might be tied to an attribute or skill, but for now, we'll go with the dice roll. It's a bit nicer than asking everyone to carry a 10-foot pole with them at all times like some early D&D games. The visibility system already handles revealing tiles, why not make it potentially reveal hidden things too? Here's the code for visibility system. Okay, so now we have to compare our code with the changes here in Vim. Visibility system. All right, so it's a little bit longer, right? We've got a map, entities, view, shed, position, player, but now we have hidden, we have our random number generator, we have the game log, and we have names. So I think we're going to make this a type. Visibility data, right? And we'll just copy all of this. Right? Semicolon, and type system data is visibility data tick A. Okay, let's move that in one. And then we're going to add write storage, tick A, hidden, and then a couple of write expects. One for game log and one for the random numbers generator. And then we have a read storage for the names. And then we're going to modify this to add those in. Right, so we have the player, and then we have hidden, random number generator, game log, and names. Right? Okay. So then we're going to go through these. If the view shed's dirty, false, visible tiles. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what happened to clear. Then there's a field of view and a retain, which stays the same. And then we're going to say if it's the player, we do this. We set all the visible tiles to false. Okay, so this must be what changes then, right? We set reveal tiles and visible tiles to true, and then here, chance to reveal hidden things. Okay. For E in map tile content, oops, IDX iter. So for every entity that is on this map tile, what are we doing? We're going to say if let sum maybe hidden equals maybe hidden. We say if hidden dot get star e is sum, right? That's the way we refactor these lines. And then we can say and there we go. RNG roll dice 1 to 24 equals 1, right? Right? And then we're going to grab the name. If let sum name equals names get star e, log entries push, format bang, you spotted a blah. And it's probably name's name. Yep. Name. Like that. And then we're going to say hidden remove E. So it's no longer hidden. Okay. So why 1 and 24? I played around until it felt about right. 1 and 6 was too good. Since your viewshed updates whenever you move, you have a high chance of spotting traps as you move around. Like a lot of things in game design, sometimes you just have to play with it until it feels right. Okay. Let us, oh, I should do a check. Yeah, okay, so we need hidden. And what else? Game log. What else? Name. Oops, name. And then the join didn't work because of the other failure. Okay. Still 2 errors. We don't have a rolled dice. Method not found. Let's go here. I thought we did have rolled dice. Do we have to extract it somehow? Mute RNG. Yeah, that's the only RNG. I know we've done it before, so I'm confused why this is failing. We've extracted, oh, maybe I did, no, it says write expect. Write expect is correct. Oh, maybe this is what you were trying to tell me, VM user, is I got these backwards here, right? It's game log, then random number generator. It's like that. Okay. That's what was blowing up. All right. So this should build. And now we should be able to wander around, and if we just move back and forth, it'll refresh the view shed. All right, do we have any over here? The 70s, 30s, somewhere around there? I don't know. You are no longer well fed. Can we go? Oh no, going the wrong way. So I'm looking for something in the 70s, and the 30s are going to be down here somewhere, right? It's a 1 in 24 chance. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I spooted a bear trap. Spooted. Let's fix that. I spotted a bear trap. Okay. So that works. So now the bear traps are visible, right? And if we step on them, we take damage, and then they disappear, and we leave some blood behind. Okay. That's pretty cool. Now let's check in with Clippy. And I think the diffs are pretty simple. Yeah, so we just added these 4 guys here. We added them to the data, and then we just say if there's something that's hidden, and there's a 1 in 24 chance of it rolls true, right? Rolls a 1, then usually you roll a 1 that's bad, but in this case it's good because it'll reveal the trap. It'll remove the hidden component from the entity, and then therefore it'll be it'll pop up on the screen. Okay. So let's check this in. Git add source, git commit -m, chance, let's say 1 in 24 chance of spotting a bear trap on every step. Okay, and push that up. Look at it over here. There it is. All right, so that brings us to the end of this chapter, which is cool. There we go. I was waiting for that to pop down. Let me, hang on one sec. Back. Sorry about that. Let me see what we can do about what's coming up next. So if I just click around here, get my screen back. Okay, generating maps is the next section. So this looks like an interesting section because it looks like there's a whole bunch of different types of maps. Prefabs, wave function collapse, symmetry and brushes, mazes and labyrinths, map building test harness. So it looks like, yeah, so we're going to start off with refactoring map building. So it looks like we'll be able to just like randomly choose a random map for a random level. Section 3 conclusion on 420. Nice. Okay, so let us start off. I've got about another half hour or so, maybe a little longer. We can start diving into this. Right, so that was the end of section 2. Let's start section 3. This started, I was part of section 2, but I realized it was large open topic. The larger roguelike games such as Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, Cogmine, Caves of Cut, etc. all have a variety of maps. Section 3 is all about map building and will cover many of the available algorithms for procedurally building interesting maps. ProcGen is a huge part of roguelikes. And there's lots of talks on roguelike. I think I pulled this up before. Roguelike.club. If you go to this website, there's a whole bunch of talks on ProcGen, which is really interesting. They have all the previous years archived, and they just had one last month, exactly a month ago. So if you like roguelikes, I recommend taking a look at this website, and you can learn a lot. I certainly did. Any next level? I'm not sure what you mean. I want to see what we can do with. So the first thing that's going to be interesting is refactoring the builder, right? So we're going to change the way we build maps and create this MapBuilder trait, it looks like. So we'll create a directory off of source. All right, well, I'm skipping ahead here. So up until now, all of our map generation code has sat in the map.rs file. And that's fine for a single style, but what if we want to have lots of styles? It's a perfect time to create a proper builder system. So if we look in the map, we have the beginning as the interface, right? We have new rooms and corridors. We have a spawn room to populate the room, and then we place the player in the first room. So we're going to make a module. So I kind of already reorganized things a little bit, so hopefully this is not going to bump up against what I've done so far. I have this lib which contains everything, and then the main which calls into it. So maybe, well, let's see what happens. Because they're talking about create a directory off of source called MapBuilders. So let's do this and see what breaks. Rust lets you make a directory with a file in it called mod.rs. Yep, that's what I did with the lib thing here. And that directory is now a module. Modules are exposed through mod and pubmod and provide a way to keep parts of your code together. So it provides an interface. Other files can do whatever they want, safely isolated from the rest of the code. Right. So we're going to put this in mod.rs. Use super map trait map builder and build with a new depth. Takes I32 and returns a map. Okay. Use of trait is new. Well, so I kind of cheated earlier when I refactored the menu drawing code. I used a trait there. So strictly not new for this thing, but maybe this will go into more depth about how interfaces work, traits work. All right. So we're stating is that anything can declare itself to be a map builder, and that includes a promise that we'll provide a build function that takes an ECS world object and returns a map. According to this, it's just taking in a depth, not an ECS. Okay. Open up map.rs and add a new function called new. We'll need this for other map generators, and it makes sense for a map to know how to return a new one as a constructor. All right, so we already have a map.rs. in source lib. Is this what they're talking about and just adding a new function new? Because we have a new maps and rooms. I'm still a little bit confused as to what's going on here. But, okay. So this looks like it's a exterior function. It's not a function on map. Although, no, this says map new here. So this says map new. That means new has to be part of... I did that again. So let's go back up here and just create a new, which takes new depth I32 and returns a map. And we'll just grab the one that's in new maps and rooms, right? And return that. I think this is going to be what we're looking for, right? Except we don't want to say let map, and we don't want a semicolon. So is everything else right? Tile type wall, rooms is vec new, width, height, reveal tiles, visible tiles, blocked, tile content, depth, and bloodstains. Yeah. All right, so that's all we're doing. We'll need this for other map generators. It makes sense for a map to know how to return a new one as a constructor. Now we'll create a new file also inside the MapBuilders directory. We'll call it SimpleMap. Okay? Map, SimpleMap. Okay? And it's just going to say use super map builder, use super map, and use specs prelude star. But any new map with different difficult. I think this is going to generate any map with a specific depth, and the depth determines the difficulty. Hope that answers the question, because I'm mostly guessing. Simple map builder. Simple map builder for simple map builder. We need a struct here, not a struce. Build new depth I32 map new depth. Will this compile? Oops. Can't open. Oh, did I? Oh, MapBuilders. It should be under MapBuilders. Okay. Source MapBuilders simple map.rs. Okay. All right. Well, this let's yeah, I don't think it's even being pulled in right now. So if I build it, it's not even going to check anything. All right, so back in MapBuilders mod, we'll add a public function. For now, it just calls the builder in simple map builder. Okay. Source MapBuilders mod, and it's going to be pub fun build random map depth I32. Returns a map, calls simple map builder build new depth. Okay, and then finally we'll tell main. Okay, so this is where it's going to get looped into the code. I did it in tutorial. Yeah, this is where I'm putting all my pub mods. Okay, so pub mod map builders. It's interesting we don't have to do pub use. Okay, a fair amount of work to not do anything, but we've gained a clean interface. So now, oops, this should be here. Okay, so now that that's here, right? If I try to compile, it should try to build that code, and it blows up. Yeah, so source lib. Oh, source lib map. Okay, so we can't put this here. Okay, that makes sense. If we put it in main, though, right? Use map builders. No, pub mod. Mod map builders. There we go. Okay, so that still doesn't work. Simple map builder. Do we need to add this is the new file, right? And then here we need to be able to import. We're not importing that anywhere, right? We have super map, so we'll need to import SimpleMapBuilder. Is that what it's called? SimpleMapBuilder. Like that. Yeah, it's just called SimpleMap.rs. So I would have thought that this would do the trick, but maybe not. Create? I don't know. I'm guessing here. No. There's no SimpleMapBuilder in the root. That's true. Map. Oh, maybe it's map SimpleMapBuilder. Create map. Ah. No SimpleMapBuilder in map. Oh, create map simple map. Wow. Really? Could not find simple map in map. Map builders. Oh, maybe I have to say mod first. Mod. Simple map. And then take away the create in the map. Nope. Oh, no, we got a different error. Okay, new depth. Okay, so that was the error. And this returns a map. Found tutorial. Oh, semicolon, right? Semicolon. Ah, okay, so that's it. That was it. So what did we have to do? We had to say mod simple map, use simple map, and then probably star here. Yeah. Okay. So it builds, but we've got two warnings. Let's see what the warnings are. Oh, we're not using spec prelude. Okay. Fair enough. I guess we're going to be using it shortly. So this is the code that we did. Okay, now we start moving functionality out of MapRS into our simple map builder. So we're going to create a common that will hold functions that used to be part of map and are now commonly used when building. Okay. Source MapBuilders common.rs, which is a new file, and then we're going to pull up our map.rs, which has our apply room to map and apply horizontal and vertical. Oops. Apply room. There we go. Okay, so it's this, this, and this. Okay, so let's pull these guys. I'm just going to copy them for now. And then they have to be pub, right? And they don't take a mute self anymore. They take a mute map. So we say map, call them mute map. Same here. Map, and then map. And then any reference to self should be map. Right? Okay. But this won't build because we need to use super map. Right? And then we need to, yeah, that we have two warnings, but yeah, this is not being used yet. Oh, okay, here we are. Use super map, rect, and tile type. And we use min-max somewhere. Yeah, min and max. Okay. Use standard compare, min-max. Okay. But we need to import those here. Simple map builder, rooms and corridors. All right. So these are exactly the same functions with map passed in as a mutable reference. and all vestiges of self are gone. All right, now that we have these helpers, we can start porting the map builder itself. So in SimpleMapRS, we start by fleshing out the build function a bit. Okay, so say let mute map equals map new depth. We call SimpleMapBuilder, : rooms and corridors. And we pass in the map, and then we return the map. And then we're going to have to write this function. SimpleMapBuilder, rooms and corridors map with a mutable reference to a map. And is this the same code that we already have? Right, it's not part of the trait, so it can't go in here. That's what they're saying down here. But we want to keep it separated from the other builders, which might have their own functions. Right, so, but I think this is almost identical to the build new rooms and corridors code that we already wrote. New map rooms and corridors. Right? Oh, yeah. We have max rooms, min size, max size. We grab the random number generator. Yeah, so this is all the same. Let's see how far down we can go. Apply room to map. And this is interesting. So it's just calling the direct function. So we might have to mess around with it a little bit. Stairs position, map tiles, map. So this is all of this, right? So let's yank that and put it here. Right, and then every reference to self, which doesn't exist, every reference to map, we want to use, that's still map rooms iter, but we want, for this guy, for example, we want to just call apply room to map. Right, and here we just want to say apply horizontal tunnel and apply vertical tunnel. Is there anything else? I think everything else is the same, right? This opening, oh, I'm missing, oh, I got an extra one here. Okay. 11 errors. We don't have tile type? Oh. Okay. I guess we'll have to do a bunch of cleanup here. So we have map, super map, and then tile type. What else is missing? Map width and map height. Right. Rect. And then, okay, so here's apply room to map. So this should be part of the common, right? So use common star. I don't know if that's going to work. What did we do for the MapBuilders mod? Maybe we just put it in here, right? Mod common. Use common star. Maybe that's the simplest way to do it. All right. How far did we get? 9 errors. No map height and map builders. Oh. Oh. Mod, right? Use super map. We're going to have to add those here too, right? Tile type. Map width. Map height. And rect. Well, we're down to 7 errors. Now the random number generator doesn't exist. So use RLTK random number generator. Right? Apply room to map still doesn't exist. I did the common. All right. Yeah, it still doesn't like that. let's see if, let me try doing a cargo check here and see if I can, if it has some hints. Yeah, so use common is unused. So that's obviously not the way to do it. Use create map builders, apply room to map. Okay, maybe I just say create map builders star, right? Use create map builders star. Oh, okay. Expected 2 arguments, supplied 1 argument. Oh, because we have to pass in the map. Duh. Okay, we're getting there. Still learning a lot about how the import stuff works for Rust, and when you're making submodules and things like that. Down to 1 error. Good. Expected brace, but oh yeah, okay, so we don't need to return it anymore. And that's the only error. There are 2 warnings. Yeah, we can't use self because we're creating a map on the fly. Okay, so we're not using specs prelude star still, but maybe we will soon. I'm going to pull it out so that I can check it in without any warnings. We can always add it back when we're ready for that. Is Clippy happy? Nothing should have changed at this point, right? Because we're not actually using it. Oh, here we go. There are 3 lines in main.rs that are now flagged by the compiler. No? Oh, because, right. Okay. Because I left them in the map code. So if we pull them out of the map code, new map, rooms, and corridors, let's pull these out, right? And then, yeah, so that's the only one. And so then once I pull that out, I think nobody calls apply horizontal and apply vertical tunnel, right? So we can remove those guys, and nobody calls apply room to map. All right, this is a little nerve-wracking because of what we're deleting here. But if I run a cargo check, now it should blow up the way they're saying, right? Oh, map no longer uses minimum number generator, it doesn't use max min, and we can't do this anymore. Okay, so in game state, so instead of this, we're going to say map builders, right? And build random map. Okay. And then there's going to be a place where we said we also have it. Let me do a grep. New map, rooms. There it is. Source main. This will be map builders. Build random map with the depth of 1. And it looks like there's one more, right? I'm missing something. Oh, probably on the new game. Oh, it looks like we're not doing it anywhere. Cargo check. Cargo is happy. So world map. I'm wondering because I remember there being a few places where let's build around a map there. Yeah, when we move down a level, that's this one. Oh yeah, I refactored it. That's right, I refactored it so that we only have one place where that is true. Right? Build random right there. Yeah, so either 1 or a +1, and that covers these 2 cases, and then the main does this one. So if you cargo run now, you'll notice the game is exactly the same. We can only hope, right? Oh, let's clean these guys up. I have to spell MapBuilders correctly. MapBuilders. Easier to type in the whole thing than try to figure out how to fix the type. No, MapBuilder. What did I do for main? PubMod MapBuilders. Okay. Pub use MapBuilders star. But that's just for this file, right? No, I got no errors now. Okay. So it's just this cargo check failed me. All right, so I probably have to pull this in here. Use MapBuilders star. Create MapBuilders star. Bunch of stabs in the dark. Nope. Could not find MapBuilders in create root. Create lib MapBuilders. No, could not find lib in the create root. Okay. So how do we reference MapBuilders from here? Because we're going to need to be able to do that. You say super? Nope, it doesn't like that either. This is going to be interesting. So in main, we have PubMod MapBuilders and PubUse MapBuilders star. Right? So we can reference it here. And if I say super, what else could it be? Right? Oh. Use of undeclared creator module MapBuilders. Yeah. And I tried super MapBuilders, right? And it says doesn't exist. Yeah. Could not find it in create root. Is there a better QA? Is there a better thing for cargo check? Better error message tells me what to do. No. It just says failed to resolve. So it's not in the crate root, right? And if I say create MapBuilders, that doesn't work either. Do I have to say mod first? Mod MapBuilders? Like that? And then delete these? No. Help to create module MapBuilders, source lib games. Oh, so super? Like that? Expected identifier found keyword. All right, so this is source lib, which is trying to get source MapBuilders, and it's not. It's not working. What if I create a mod in source which says pub use MapBuilders or PubMod MapBuilders, and that's all it has? Now we have 20 errors. Oh, yeah. Nope. Undeclared crate or module. So pub use MapBuilders star. Some people fight with the borrow checker. I fight with the module import system. Use of undeclared crate or module, right? Because I'm no longer importing it here, but I thought this would have pulled it in. And I can't use superstar. Yeah. Great. MapBuilders. Yeah, I could not find MapBuilders in the crate root. Well, there's got to be a way, let's say, Rust modules use one another. I have no idea what to search for. How to use one module from another module in Rust. Okay. You have to include BRS somewhere with mod B. If B is a child of A, rename ARS into A mod RS and B into then you can mod B in A. Yeah, because then they're in the same directory. Instead, you can path BRS mod B in AR. Oh, you can do this? If B is intended to be a sibling, you can just mod B in main and then use crate : B in A. Oh, didn't I do that though? I did a mod B. Use crate MapBuilders. It's called MapBuilders, right? Yeah, MapBuilders. And then in main, yeah, I said pub mod MapBuilders and pub use MapBuilders in main, right? So that should do it. But it's not working for me. Yeah, no MapBuilders in the root. Source MapBuilders. And there's a mod.rs, so it should be able to find the mod. I wonder where it's looking. I had to use a sibling module like this. You'd create, yeah, so that's what that is. Create MapBuilders. I've tried using, however, I still encounter it. Yeah. Only if you include B in the main RS file with mod B, which is what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know if I can do this because I say .. / right? Path .. / map builders mod map builders. That doesn't seem right. Unresolved import create MapBuilders. Why is that blowing up now? That was working before. Yeah, here I'm only seeing one. You should very rarely need to specify the path. I agree, Epic. I agree. I just don't. I'm stuck. What I've got here, if we look, I've got a source lib, and this map.rs wants to include MapBuilders /mod. right? So there's sibling modules, and I don't know how to get sibling modules to work. I have in my main.rs, I'm pulling it in, and when I try to use it here, I don't know how to specify it here. If I just say mod map builders, yeah, it's saying help to create. We want to create source lib game state map builders instead of .. right? And if I say create map builders, create map builders, then it says expected identifier found keyword. So obviously you don't do mod create map builders. You say use, right? Maybe I can do that. I thought I tried this though. I've tried a lot of different things. Still 2 errors. Yeah, could not find map builders in the crate root. And it's not saying where it's looking, right? It's just saying it can't find it. And I think I tried super. Yeah, same exact error. Could not find map builders in the crate root. Yep. So I'm at a loss here. I don't know what the right answer is. It's changed since 2015 edition. Mod isn't needed anymore. You can still use it, but I find it more confused. Yeah, well, I'm definitely in the confusing area of that. The mod.rs does include the trait and stuff like that for the MapBuilders module. If you're in main, use pubmod foo, it'll look for foo rs in the same directory. Yeah, so in my main, right, I got pubmod MapBuilders, and that seems to be importing fine, right? It's not complaining about, so I'm using this MapBuilders : build random map, and that's working. It's just that when I'm trying to use it from the sibling module, yeah, it'll look for foo/bar.rs, right? So I want to be able to find the sibling module instead of a submodule when I do the import. And I did a Google for it, and the first Stack Overflow didn't work. How to use a module from another module. Right. So in main, right? Oh, do I have to pubmod lib? Does that make sense? Because I've got the lib module. Is that the way they make it understand? And then create DB will refer to your DB module. Do I have to do that? Huh. Well, I got a lot more errors. And now could not find, oh, so maybe I, yeah, undeclared. I tried. Create. Does that work? No. All right, so adding that didn't help. Just use create DB to my index module. There's no need for re-exporting it. Yeah, you'd think so. You'd think that would work, right? I wonder if it's all these other errors. It's making the module fail to compile. Like I need to get the map code to build. No, there's no errors in the map code. No map in lib. Yeah, everything blew up. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm going to have to play with this offline and then see what I can come up with. So much for this refactoring thing, huh? I think we got most of the way there. I just need to figure out what the right, and maybe there's something in the cargo.toml I can add to say, oh, look for this in there, or look for map. But like you were saying, Epic, you shouldn't have to do that. The system is actually pretty simple once you get it, but there's something about it that takes time to sink in. Yeah, well, it's definitely taking time for me, unfortunately. All right, I will call this a stream, and we will. I'll poke at it tonight and then pick it up tomorrow and see if we can figure it all the way out. Meanwhile, thanks very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.